Dear friend, the message from the angels is here to provide comfort and deep insights. Last night, someone who used to be close to you was feeling regretful and realized how important you were in their life. Your presence had a profound impact on them, offering support during difficult times. They regret not recognizing your value sooner and now understand the depth of your significance in their life. They feel a sense of loss and are learning the true meaning of love and appreciation. Despite the distance, they still feel connected to you, and the memories of your time together continue to influence them. This person is beginning to understand that love is not just having someone by your side. True love is learning, growing, and often letting go, no matter how painful it may be. They recognize that your departure was necessary for them to see what matters. Now, they are searching for a way to honor what they had, even if that means accepting that it may be too late to recover what was lost. Your courage in walking away and moving forward with your head held high is one of the things that affects them the most. You demonstrated a strength they didn't know existed, and that inspired them to be stronger too. It wasn't easy for you, but your determination not to cling to the past and to keep moving forward is an example for them. It's as if, by moving on, you are also showing them the way. And although this person cannot have you the way they once desired, they still feel that they can learn from you, even from afar. Now they look at you from a new perspective, as someone who still has much to offer the world. There are no resentments, only deep gratitude for all that you represented. Last night, as they cried themselves to sleep, they finally understood that there was no way to go back, but there was a way to move forward with a lighter heart and a clearer mind. It's time to make room for new possibilities and allow what is meant to be to happen. No matter how painful the past may seem, there is something very beautiful in the healing process. It's clear that this person deeply appreciates your presence in their life and the impact you've had on them. They've come to understand the significance of the connection you shared and the valuable lessons they've learned from it. Although they may not be able to be with you physically, your influence continues to play a crucial role in their growth. They are experiencing the weight of your absence and the realization of the missed opportunities to cherish the genuine connection you shared. Your kindness and care served as a source of strength and comfort for them, and they now feel a profound sense of loss without it. Despite the pain, they are finding motivation to become a better person and to approach love and life with a deeper understanding. They express a genuine desire for your happiness and acknowledge the valuable lessons they've learned from your strength and resilience in facing challenges. It's evident that the bond you shared was transformative for both of you, and they recognize the difficulties and internal struggles you may have faced along the way. Perhaps at another time, with different maturity, things could have been different. But life is made of moments, and each of you did the best you could with what you had back then. Still, there is a certain peace in knowing that despite the misunderstandings, you both managed to transform one another. There's no way to measure the impact that had, but it's clear that you both came out of the experience stronger and more aware. Now, she watches from afar, not with the eyes of someone hoping for a return, but with gratitude for recognizing the value of the experience lived. As painful as it was, what you shared was real and significant. In her prayers, she asks the angels to guide your steps, for life to bring you all you deserve, and that if a reunion is to happen, it will be at the right time, with hearts renewed and ready for something greater. For now, all she can do is accept what happened and trust in the divine plan. She's learning to forgive herself, to forgive you, and to accept that things don't always turn out the way we imagine. The most important thing is that even in the pain, there is growth. She knows that what you both experienced was part of something bigger, something that brought you both to a point where, even separated, you have the chance to find peace and true love. Dear soul, the journey of transformation she is now on is deep and complex. Every day, there's a silent struggle to deal with the emotions that surface and with the nostalgia that insists on staying. Though painful, it was this feeling that awakened in her a new way of seeing what you both lived through. She constantly wonders how things could have been different if she had recognized the value of your love at the right time. It's a question that doesn't give her peace, but it's also what drives her to seek redemption, even if that means simply becoming a better person for the future. Now, she sees you as a precious memory, someone who brought light into the darkness. And although she couldn't show you how important you were, she now understands that you were like a divine gift in her life. Your ability to love fearlessly, to give yourself authentically, is something she's never found in anyone else. There was nobility in the way you handled difficulties and courage in loving even after facing so many challenges. She admires your strength and resilience, and she misses you a lot. She's struggling with the fact that you've moved on while she's still dealing with your absence. She feels grateful for the lessons you've taught her and the comfort you've provided during vulnerable moments. She believes that your connection hasn't completely faded and that it was a significant spiritual experience for both of you. This realization has sparked a strong desire for change within her. She doesn't want to repeat past mistakes and is committed to freeing herself from old wounds. She aims to love more fully and courageously, just like you did. However, your ability to move on with dignity both inspires and worries her. She's afraid that you might find someone else to fill the void she left behind. This duality of feelings consumes her, the desire to see you happy and the fear of being forgotten. It's hard for her to accept that while she remains trapped in memories, you may be building a future without looking back. Despite it all, she's learning to recognize that each of you has your path. And though those paths may not cross again, what matters is that what you lived was real and left important lessons. There is a serenity in accepting that not all stories need a happy ending to be meaningful. The love you gave, and the strength you showed, are things she will carry with her as she tries to find a new purpose. For now, all she can do is trust that what is meant to happen will happen. What you shared will never be forgotten, as every memory is part of her healing process. And though the future is uncertain, she knows that you both have the opportunity to transform from this experience. Instead of letting them take over, look for ways to reframe the experience by turning memories into lessons and regrets into motivation. Even though you're far apart, what you taught her is still a part of the present. Your strength in moving forward with an open heart inspires her daily not to close herself off to new possibilities. She is learning to embrace uncertainty and trust that what is truly meant for her will come at the right time. This renewed faith is a way to keep alive the connection you shared, even if in a different way. It's as if by making space for the new, she is also honoring the transformation you helped to start. The hardest thing for her has been accepting that her journey is individual, although the desire to relive what you had still exists. Every day she realizes more that she needs to walk her path and find a way to be happy by herself. You, on the other hand, remain a living memory of what is possible when we love truly and give ourselves without fear. That courage is what she admires most in you and what she is now trying to incorporate into her own life. She is discovering that true love can go beyond physical presence. There's a feeling that as she heals, she is also healing the part of you both that still lives on in her memory. This healing is a long and difficult journey, but necessary. The love you shared is transforming into something greater, a force she carries with her as she learns to become a better version of herself. She is discovering the true depth of the impact you had on her life. Each day that passes, she uncovers new layers of herself that you help reveal. It's as if your presence awakened dormant parts, bringing to the surface emotions and feelings she had forgotten. And in your absence, she begins to understand that you weren't just part of her life, but also a catalyst for the transformation of her soul. Now she sees that you were sent by a higher force to teach lessons that otherwise wouldn't have been learned. It wasn't just about the romantic love you shared, but also about self-love, resilience, and the ability to reinvent oneself. You brought light to the darkest parts of her life, offering an honest and loving reflection of what she could become. That revelation was so powerful that even now, it continues to transform and inspire her to keep seeking the best version of herself. The recognition of what you were able to spark in her life is both liberating and painful. Liberating because it allows her to see that even without your presence, you left a positive and lasting mark. Painful because the absence of that same energy is felt every day. She feels as though she lost a part of herself when she lost you. But on the other hand, she also understands that the transformation that began with you continues, even though it's now a solitary path. She remembers the times when you were there to lift her spirit in moments when she felt lost or overwhelmed. Your touch was healing, and your love revitalizing. Now, without that source of support, she is learning to strengthen herself from within. It's as if you taught her to plant a seed of self-sufficiency, and now she is nurturing that plant with great effort. Every moment of pain is seen as an opportunity for growth, and every memory is a lesson to be honored. Your departure made her realize that one cannot depend entirely on another person to find happiness. That lesson was difficult but necessary. Now she is rediscovering who she is without you, and this is making her question everything she believed about love, not because you disappointed her, but because your exit forced her to see how far she had strayed from her essence. She is now seeking to rediscover that lost center, using what she learned from you to find her way back to herself. The nights are still hard. There are moments when loneliness sets in, and her thoughts return to the days when you were together. She remembers the laughter you shared, the small gestures of affection, and how you made her feel safe and loved. The longing is inevitable, but at the same time, she knows she needs to move forward, and she is trying, one day at a time, without losing hope that she will find something new and beautiful in the future. Your example continues to be a source of inspiration for her. The way you dealt with difficulties and kept moving forward motivated her to do the same. And though the process is painful, she knows it will be worth it in the end. What you had was rare and special, but she understands that it's necessary to let go of the past so that the new can enter. That acceptance doesn't happen overnight, but she is striving to embrace change with an open heart. She knows she can't go back in time, but she also doesn't want what you both experienced to be in vain. That's why she is committed to honoring your memory by living in a way that reflects the love you brought to her life. This means allowing herself to love again, even with the risk of being hurt. It means being strong enough to open herself to new experiences without letting the fear of the past dictate her future. It's a difficult path, but it's the only one that makes sense to her now. Before continuing with the message, you must take this moment to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Every message we send could be the key you're looking for, and we can't guarantee you'll have another chance to receive these insights again. Your subscription is what allows us to keep bringing deep and transformative content, especially for those who truly need it. Now, let's continue with the message. As she works on healing, she also allows herself to feel gratitude. Gratitude for having been a part of her life, for showing her what it means to truly love, and for being an example of courage and resilience. Your presence was a gift, even if your departure left a void. And now, when she remembers you, she doesn't focus solely on the pain but also on the love you shared. That's what makes the difference, knowing that despite everything, what you both experienced was real and valuable. She also understands that both of you need to continue on your paths to grow. Maybe if circumstances had been different, things could have had another outcome. But life is made of choices, and each one has its consequences. What matters is that you found each other, and that encounter left an eternal mark. What you had was not in vain. It was part of something bigger that is still unfolding in both of your lives. Since the moment you walked away, she was faced with the need to reshape not only her life but also the way she understands love. The void that remains is deep. But curiously, it's not only filled with pain. It's an open field, an opportunity for renewal. And despite the tears and the lonely nights, there is a spark of hope that insists on shining. She learned through the silence that followed your departure that love goes beyond having someone by your side. Loving is also recognizing the value of the experience, even when the end is not what was expected. She is discovering that she can honor what you both had differently, by integrating the lessons, cultivating a stronger version of herself, and allowing herself to be happy, regardless of where you are. That understanding didn't come easily but through a slow and painful process of self-discovery. Every memory of the two of you is a reminder of what is possible when you love with an open heart. Those memories, which for so long were a source of sadness, are beginning to transform into something more serene. She hasn't forgotten the moments you shared, but instead of seeing them as something lost, she now views them as a fundamental part of her story. The love you brought into her life became a compass that guides her, even if you are no longer physically present. She is also beginning to realize that your departure was a gift in disguise. Losing you forced her to find new meaning for her own life. That search brought with it the need to confront old fears, insecurities, and limitations that were previously hidden. Now, she is slowly freeing herself from those barriers, allowing herself to be the person she always wanted to be, not for you, but for herself. It's a process of growth that wouldn't have been possible without the initial pain of separation. This transformation, although solitary, is not without purpose. She feels more connected to herself, more willing to embrace the truth, and less inclined to run from what is difficult. What once seemed unbearable is now seen as an opportunity to grow stronger. Every day is a chance to build something new, and what was once despair is transforming into motivation to live more authentically. She knows that if you could see her now, you would notice a change in her eyes. Not sadness, but determination. Part of her journey involves learning to forgive, not just you for not being there anymore, but also herself for not doing everything she could when she had the chance. She understands that forgiveness is the key to letting go of the past, and by forgiving herself, she is freeing herself from the weight of regret. This doesn't mean she doesn't miss you, but it means she's allowing herself to move forward without holding on to resentment. It's a big step, and maybe the hardest one she's taken. She believes that wherever you are, you're also on a journey of growth. The bond between you, even if not visible anymore, still exists on a spiritual level, and that sense of connection, even from afar, brings her comfort. She feels that, in some way, what happened for a reason, to help both of you become better and more self-aware. That awareness is a gift you give to each other, even without knowing it. Now, as she looks to the future, she sees new possibilities she hadn't seen before.